Hey guys, it's David from Automotive Press. Guess what I have right here right now is the all-new Highlander EV. So as you guys may or may not know, the Highlander is being reborn as a fully electric battery vehicle. So it's going to be a BEV, and it's going to be really exciting because it's the first time Toyota has a 3-row fully electric vehicle. It's also going to be built in the US at the Kentucky plant. So lots of amazing news in regard to this new Highlander. Of course, the Grand Highlander will stay as it is, so there's no impact there, but the Highlander will be changed from what used to be a gasoline and a hybrid model to fully electric. But today what I wanted to do is just really focus on the overall fit and finish and manufacturing quality, because I did a full review or overview of the Highlander EV already. So go and take a look at that video if you haven't seen it yet. But because this one is a slightly newer version of that prototype, it's still a prototype, I thought it would be really good to see how much the quality has improved since that model and do a complete deep dive check in terms of exterior panels, alignment, interior quality, and so forth. So let me do a deep dive quality audit on the Highlander EV, and I'll tell you how good it is. Welcome back. So this is still a prototype version of a Highlander. We're not going to see a production version until much later this year, but it is a newer version compared to the one I looked at a couple months ago. So I thought it'd be really good to check the overall manufacturing quality again, and also just talk about some engineering things that you should be aware of in terms of how they put the car together. So it will be built in the Kentucky plant in the US, and therefore it will be kind of a North American based vehicle. But let's look at the gap, because it's actually improved over the previous prototype, and you know what, it's shockingly good in terms of the actual gap. It's 3 millimeters there, and actually 2 millimeters, so it's almost too good. I suspect that the hood is a little bit misaligned right now because it's a prototype. They're obviously sorting out. You're not going to get a production model with a 2 millimeter gap. That's actually too narrow. And if anything goes wrong during the production, it's going to rub against each other. So that's not normal. But right now, the gaps are fantastic. And then what about over here, front fender to front door is 3.9. So that's more of a normal gap that we expect. Between front door and rear door is also about 3.5 millimeter. And between rear door and rear quarter panel, it's about 3.9 millimeters. So give or take, better than the current Highlander gasoline version, which is built in Princeton, Indiana, and about in alignment with all the other Toyotas. Now there is some misalignment. The hood is a little bit sunken in right now, and then the edge over here not lined up yet. This one again a little bit going this way, like dipping in, with the front fender sticking out a little bit. So again, this is a prototype. They're going to have to work on that in their manufacturing processes, because the tooling and the jig they use to weld these pieces together still need adjustments. So they're going to have to make some of those adjustments as well. But what about the paint job? Let's measure the paint thickness. It's going to be a little bit odd because usually prototype paints are much thicker, but let's take a look. Front hood, 113 microns. Front fender, 100 microns. Again, these are still not representative of the final production. 116 microns. And 121 microns for the rear door. One more here, rear quarter panel. This is 139. So right now it's pretty close to what I would expect from a production model. Kind of 110 to this one is a little bit thicker at 139 microns. So most Toyota cars are between 100 to 120 microns. Sometimes a little bit thicker, sometimes a bit less than 100. Basically, my definition of a good quality and good long-term durability is that the paint thickness should be more than 100 microns. So as long as it's more than 100, I'm happy. If it's more than 130 or 140 microns, even better. But in this case, this is pretty well the average of what I see from Toyota. A little bit thicker actually than other Toyota models. So paint thickness looks really good. In terms of paint quality, again, even for a prototype, looks fantastic actually in this particular paint here. I see very little orange peel. Normally there's a lot more orange peel, but there's actually very little. There's a little bit on the side, which is always more noticeable when you look at it from this angle here. I really like the new door mechanism because it's flush, but I can still put my hands in there and open, versus, you know, the one that comes out and then goes back in again. I hate those mechanisms. Something always goes wrong with it. What about some of the plastic components in terms of the mirrors, the front headlight, plastic components? Well, the paint matching between the front bumper and the front fender looks really good. Like sometimes gray and silver paint are really hard to match, but really good matching actually. There's a little bit of a difference in shade, maybe 2 or 3% at the most, but looks identical, and everything fits well. All the edges line up. I mean, it's a fantastic build quality so far that I see for a prototype. You got a big piece of plastic here, so kind of keep in mind that if you're in a parking lot and you maybe turn too soon and you rub against something, you will definitely damage this. But thankfully, the plastic bumper is sticking out a little bit more than the steel portion, so you'll damage that before the steel or metal portion, which is cheaper to fix because it's easy to replace. But like most new Toyotas lately, they have the recessed wheel wells. So this part, it's all metal and it's a little bit recessed in. So if you were to turn too quick and you happen to hit a pillar in a parking lot, you're going to damage this whole section here. So maybe some different versions of the Highlander will have a plastic trim here. I hope they do. So that'll offset some of that potential issue. In terms of looking at the plastic material here, the B pillar, everything looks okay. It's obviously not a perfect quality right now because it's a prototype. The dark roof looks fantastic. The pigmentations of the metallic paint really come through in this bright light. And at the back, looks really good too. So let me flip the camera and I'll show you the back. So here's the back of the new Highlander EV. Lots of black plastic, so they're really scratched up right now. Again, because it's a prototype. But in terms of fit and finish and how they fit, so far it looks good. You got this interesting tail lamp that goes all the way to the other side. You have this plastic piece that's attached to the bottom part of the bumper sticking out. So if you hit something in the parking lot, you'll hit this plastic portion before you hit the metal portion. So that's a good design because you want this to get damaged versus the metal piece, because it's easier to repair this one or to replace this one versus the metal piece, which you will have to get it repainted. Otherwise, the actual design and the quality of the plastic piece looks fine. There's definitely some misalignment here between this tail lamp and the middle portion, but the tailgate looks okay. It's a little bit misaligned as well, so they'll definitely have to work on adjusting the fit and finish of this piece right here, which will improve the fit and finish of this piece against this one. So right now, as a prototype, it's sufficient, but they're going to obviously improve this beyond what I see right now. It's actually better in the front. The rear needs a little bit more work. But otherwise, for our pre-production model that's still 6 months away, maybe even longer, is pretty well built. Now let's take a look at the inside, see how the fit and finish is. All right, so I'm inside the Highlander EV now. How does it compare to other Toyota electric vehicles? How does it compare to competitors in terms of design and also fit and finish and quality? Well, let's take a look at the quality first. So thankfully, Toyota has migrated away from hard plastic, and now almost everything is soft plastic. So that's soft material, that's soft. The buttons have a nice tactile feel to it. Soft Alcantara material here, even soft material here, a little bit soft, almost semi-soft, I should say. And the door panels also has a bit of a give. And so everything that I touch, other than just this piece here, which is the head-up display section, other than that, everything is soft plastic. So that's a huge improvement, because that has been my #1 complaint about recent Toyota models, in that many of them have hard plastic, in fact black hard plastics, and they really look boring. But this one has a really nice combination of two-tone color coordinated components. Even the steering has a two-tone finish. So beautiful finish, almost looks like a production version, like production ready. I did notice a few things though. When I push these buttons, this entire dash section moves a little bit. You can see that moving up and down. So this is not secure yet. So they'll need to work on that, because it'll be kind of annoying if every time I'm moving this or touching one of these buttons, it's moving up and down. So they'll have to work on that. But the actual feel of the switches and the buttons are all good. Even the column mounted ones feels good. Thankfully, the steering wheel has a very tactile feel. It's not one of those haptic design, but proper switches, proper buttons I can press on the steering wheel. So I really like that. You've got some beautiful finishes here all the way around. Lots of room. It's very important to note that this is going to be the roomiest EV for Toyota. It's also the first time Toyota has a 3-row EV model. So it's a very important model for Toyota, even though the EV market might be softening. At least in Vancouver, West Coast where I live, EVs are still pretty strong, and I can see people really enjoying and liking this vehicle. We won't get to drive it for many more months still, but based on my static review and audit so far, it looks really good. And the seat quality looks fine as well. All the stitching and everything looks really good. You also get a big center console here that flips and open on both sides, and even the glove compartment is actually really big. Now let's just take a quick look at the second row of seat. Well, let me get in here, and as you can tell, super roomy. I got a huge amount of knee room here, lots of toilet room space because the seats is raised. I even have a USB charging port right here built into the back of the seat. And then the roof panel is beautiful because it's all open all the way, and lots of headroom. I'm not tall, I'm 5'8", maybe an average for an Asian person. But I got so much space, lots of space this way as well. And also a proper place to put my arm in. I got shade here. So beautiful design, looks actually way better than I expected, because I was worried that when they decided to introduce Highlander EV, I thought it's gonna be a boring design. But very cool design, looks really futuristic and still very much looking like a Toyota models, and seats are very comfortable. You can tell the floor is almost flat, not quite, but almost flat. And I don't have time to show you the third row right now, but when I did look at it previously, it's surprisingly roomy as well. Again, because of the EV design, you get lots and lots of interior space. The cargo area is also very roomy. It's so much space. So if you absolutely have to have the roomiest EV and you want to stick with the Toyota brand because it's a brand that you trust, well, right now this is the only option. Of course, if you go to Lexus side, you can buy a TZ or TZ, and that would be the Lexus version of this one with higher quality materials, more features, and a little bit more performance. But this is a sweet spot, and I'm sure it's going to be priced very attractively and competitively. So if you want a big 3-row EV and you want the latest one from Toyota with a really good range and a good performance, which we'll find out very soon, well, this is the one you might want to consider. Otherwise, you still got other models within Toyota lineup, such as the BZ, BZ Woodland, CHR, which would be too small. So you have a number of other choices, but for me, I really like 3-row large crossovers. So if I have to buy an EV and I want to stick with Toyota, well, this will be it. So I hope you enjoyed my quick review of the Highlander's quality inside and out, and also to kind of give you a little bit more insight as to what it feels like to be inside this new Highlander EV. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up, make some comments, and if you haven't done so yet, would you kindly subscribe? Because many of you guys watch my videos but are not subscribers, and that would be truly helpful if you can subscribe. Until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.